And now, through the magic of the Cybernet Space Cube, the computer-enhanced podcast of the future, Transformers Slag Podcast. What's up, everybody? How we all doing this Saturday night? So Transformers Slag Podcast Center live stream main event. Actually joined by the big man himself today. He decided to join me. Let me move the camera a little bit. The Butters cam. Butters, go say hi to everybody here. Anyways, he's chilling over here right now. Good weather, so now he wants to be back here. How we doing? My name's Proto Man. That's Butters over here, chilling on the bottom. And it's a Transformers Slag podcast. We're going to talk Transformers today. We're going to update the news and have a little bit of housekeeping on stuff that was updated on stuff we were talked about earlier this week. We'll take some super chats from the fans, talk about some new news we didn't cover this week because we were busy. Holidays, it's Good Friday, Easter Sunday, Easter Monday. A Super Mario Brothers movie came out, so I got busy with a lot of other stuff. Also, a stack of comic books came in the mail, and there goes Butters. He's like, "Oh, why is he talking?" He's gonna come back. Anyways, so we're gonna cover everything. But who's in the chat? Who's in the chat? Let's see who's in the chat today. Got Butters' hair everywhere. We got J.R. Mina from the Philippines. How you doing? Young, how you doing? Who else do we got? Patrick Brown, what's up? T-Formers 2002, one of my patrons and YouTube members. Got James Hopkins, how you doing? Oscar, what's up? What's up? Rodimus Supreme, one of my patrons. Trevor, one of my patrons. Fawnheart, how you doing? Who else do we got? I want to make sure I don't miss nobody. Big Bot Bodega, what's up, man? Autovolt, one of my patrons. How you doing? Mateus, one of my patrons. I think I got Cringe McCringle, one of my patrons. So many people are piling in now. Will Murphy, what's up, man? How you doing? Everyone's slowly piling in now. It's one of those Saturdays. TFCon Twins. How you doing? It's one of those Saturdays. Most people are out and about with family and friends. Long weekend. Any way you cut it. If you had Friday off or if you can have Monday off, it's different for different people. I know when I used to work at Burger King, we always had none of those days off because everyone would always be out and they'd want to go to restaurants. So, Big Bob Bodega, TFCon Orlando tickets went on sale today. Yep. It's just a matter now of the dealer room stuff hasn't gone up yet. That'll be happening soon for people who are dealers that want to become dealers at the show. Only a few guests have been announced thus far. And same thing for TFCon Toronto. I think only a few guests have been announced. But stay tuned. A lot of stuff is going to be popping off over the next couple weeks. That is for sure. Don't worry, I'm not going to talk about the Mario movie. It's still early. I will not say any spoilers. Do not worry. Do not worry. I am quite a spoiler respectful individual. Like there is still, there's stuff that's like 10 years old that I still haven't talked about that's spoiler related because I feel like people are just slow to, especially on the comic book scene of things. I find like, sometimes people, they don't get around to comic books until they're trade paperbacks or omnibuses. So I always wait for that. But, I will spoil you on stuff that's like 30 years old or 20 years old. That's a little different. So either way, let's get into the news because we got a few things to cover. And then we'll cover some super chats from the fans. I picked up one or two things today. Something interesting that people might appreciate depending on where you come from. But yeah, let's get into it as always. And first, we're going to start with, of course, these prototypes that showed up on eBay and then disappeared just as quickly. I think the seller didn't realize that the test shots that he had were items that had not been publicly sold in retail. Pretty much an individual on eBay who I will not say because it's stolen goods, unfortunately. had a full wave of Wave 6 of the canceled BotBots wave. Now, most of that wave was redecos of previously existing stuff. So he had a lot of the unpainted test shots of a lot of Wave 6, but he did have two items that popped up, and it was that of the Fall Guy and the Immortal Meat. So we got to finally see the final versions of those two that would have been. I originally thought it was bubblegum on the back of the Fall Guy, but someone in my comments mentioned that it looked like a rock climbing wall, and that sounds way better and makes a lot more sense. So that's probably correct, especially with the name Fall Guy. So it's originally the phone, aka PDA device, aka whatever they want it to be, depending on how they deco it. Now it's a rock climbing wall. Sure, you got to be creative in the BotBots world. And then you have the Immortal Meat that I guess in continuity would have been like the Nemesis Prime or the Scourge of to BurgerBot. Excuse me, Burgertron. Um, and it's interesting because he has like the deco of him, like he's all rotted and everything, but then he has like this, he has this like dragon on his chest and the all yellow body, and he's called the Immortal Meat. It's like, is this like a nod to the immortal Iron Fist, who also had the dragon tattoo on the chest and the mostly yellow body and the immortal in his name? I don't know. Maybe it's a bit of a deep cut, but all of this, unfortunately, never came to be. And I've said this many times on the podcast. As much as I liked BotBots, I love the concept of it. I love how we just had all these original characters and IPs, and the show was fun for what it was and everything. But it was a classic example of not having everything lined up, and you really got to, you really, really, really got to have all your, you know, chickens lined up when you're doing a TV show and a mixed media kind of thing like Transformers, where the BotBots toy line came out, and then it took like 2.5 to 3 years before a TV series. And then when a TV series comes out, there's no toys on the shelf. Like, it was the pretty brain dead way to go about it. Um, it is what it is, unfortunately, and hopefully things will be learned from it. Eyes on the ace, how you doing? How you doing? So we will see in the future how other stuff is handled. I mean, look, when you look at other small media partners, whether it be Wild King or even that of Cyber World, those have been done well in the sense that the product is on the shelves at the same time as the TV show. It's just a matter of reception at that point and interest. So we'll see how the future is. But that's it. Two prototypes. They're out there. Someone's going to probably try to resell them again now that they know what they have. So why would Hasbro allow that to happen? Says Tom Laney, one of the YouTube members. It happens sometimes. The sad reality, from what I was told, so BotBots, the TV series, the voice acting crew was all based in Toronto, Canada. That's where the whole auditions were. And from what I heard from the cast over there, a lot of it was Hasbro West Coast and their kind of brainchild. And a sad reality with modern Transformers, and I'd have to say this really started a little bit into Transformers Prime and then really became an ongoing issue, is when Hasbro West Coast, aka Allspark Productions, aka whatever they want to call themselves today and rename themselves, there was a lot of issues, a lot of miscommunication, a lot of weird planning. And it's never been stated outright, but I'm pretty sure the big V and COVID probably also had a little bit to do with it. But that didn't hurt all the other stuff like the Netflix series and everything. So it was a mess. It was a mess. Hopefully, lessons will be learned from it. And to have that kind of mixed media synergy, you got to have that. Japan are the kings of that. Again, I feel like a broken record saying this every single time, but you got to be on top of that stuff. You always do. You always do. So, yeah, BotBots. Then we got, speaking of small Transformers that I guess no one really cares about that much, we have a pre-order that is up right now on Amazon, which I believe it's actually shipping out now too. Tiny Turbo Changers 5-pack. Yeah. So not much we could really say about this. It's the blind packs that are out right now in Target, the new wave of Tiny Turbo Changers that have way more paint decos on them. And Yeah, you could get Optimus, Megatron, Bumblebee, Grimlock, and Shockwave in much better paint deco than the previous releases. And then you could get them in this 5-pack for $20. And the kind of the sad reality of anything is well, I guess you're saving $5 because tiny turbo changers are usually $4.99 each. And if you manage to like pick these 5 up, no, using the codes and stuff with the blind bags, it would have been $25 plus tax for your local state cost. So sure, sure, it is what it is. I mean, that new wave is pretty cool. I mean, it gave us a Transformers animated Black Arachnia tiny turbo changer redeco and a very cool hot rod. So, and more paint than probably any of these guys ever had. So it's cool at the end of the day. But pre-orders are up right now. Tiny turbo changer 5-pack on Amazon if you are interested. I believe this is an Amazon exclusive because I have not seen listings for this anywhere else. If you are interested, comes in a little fancy box with some evergreen authentics art. Then we have another thing. I don't know if people care about this, but we got to cover it because we always cover all the news here. Let's talk about it. Yet again, another Funko Pop. This is going to be exclusive to Event with a D at the end of it. It's a online website that deals in all kinds of different exclusives and specifically Funko Pop. They're going to have a limited edition 9,500 made gold Optimus Prime Funko Pop. Yeah, have fun with that. We'll just move on from that one because I know all of you don't care about that. Let's go into something that's a little more interesting, though. Another Amazon listing popped up this past week. This one much more intriguing, especially if you're an 86 movie fan like I am. The Transformers the Movie Ultimate Visual History book, hardcover book by Insight, is going to be coming out very, very soon. Pre-orders are up right now for $50. Insight has done some really good informational books in the past. I own some of their Marvel ones, and this is a celebration of the 40th anniversary of the 86 movie with interviews, behind-the-scenes stuff, storyboards, animation cells, a whole bunch of different things. Again, I owned their Marvel Anatomy book, which was very colorful, all kinds of original art, all kinds of behind the scenes stuff, and interviews with the creators of Marvel characters. This is almost 200 pages, hardcover, looks really cool. I mean, I'm pre-ordering this, but again, I love the 86 movie. So this is interesting. So this pre-order again also available right now on Amazon.com and .ca. .ca, I believe for Canadians it's $67 Canadian. So more or less, a couple bucks here and there in terms of exchange rate, depending on your day. And yeah, very, very cool. And this is going to have an October 27th release date around the time of the 86 movie's debut, oddly enough. So not too far away from that. So yeah, very, very cool. Dig this one a lot. Nice book for your shelf. And it's a hardcover, so that's a little more extra prestige. So very, very nice. Check that out. Then we got Blocky's news, whole bunch of Blocky stuff that's popping off here. We first have the Blocky's Defender version Wave 7 Power of the Beasts. This is a very beast leaning wave, to say the least, but mostly the Japanese side of things. And we got Lio Convoy, Big Convoy, Galvatron 2, Magmatron, Gigastorm, and then we got some miscellania of Shattered Glass and G1 mixed in there too, just to kind of, we still got to give some G1 for the G1ers. But a very great mix of stuff here. The Lio Convoy variants, of course, are going to be all the chase figures because you're going to have the Black Lio Convoy and the legendary Lio Convoy. Then you have Big Convoy, and his chases are going to be Big Black Black Convoy, and Nemesis Prime, aka Bloody Tusks, and we're going to have some extra pieces to do the Matrix Buster. So that's really cool. You have Galvatron second, you got Magmatron, you got Gigatron, you got Shatterglass Grimlock, you got Cliff Jumper, you got Ratchet, you got Alt Mode Ratchet that's looking very sculpted to look like First Aid, and I get a feeling that this Ratchet is a Trojan horse into what will be Defensor later for their next combiner. You got a reformatted Galvatron, you got a sludge that clearly on the underside of that sludge also kind of suggests that a Volcanicus combiner at some point in the future. Looks great. Blockies are great. Blockies are cheap. Blockies are fun. What more could I say? Except check them out. And if we're getting images like this, that means these are going to be probably released very, very soon, if not already released. So very cool. Check that out. We also got a teaser now, another one, the case assortments for the Blockies Galaxy version Wave 10 till all are one. We now know who's going to be part of the core assortment of 9 figures, as well as the chase. And we got, of course, Rodimus Prime. We got Warpath. We got Galvatron. We got Scorponok. That's a really cool one. We got Trailbreaker. We got Wreck-Ar. We got Six Shot. We got Brawn, another really cool one because I love Brawn. And we got Cyclonus. And one of the chases is going to be a metallic uh, Rodimus. So that's really cool. Again, if we already have package photos here and everything like this, that means we're not too far away from this stuff coming out. Like this stuff could be coming out tomorrow for all we know. So very, very cool. Dig it a lot. Again, this is a Rodimus wave. And again, for people that want a visual, this is what Galaxy is scaled at, and this is what the Defenders is scaled at to just show you the difference in terms of scale and aesthetic. Much more of an SD scale for one, and much more of a standardized kind of, cool articulation, great little figures, model kits that you build. Look at that articulation. He could kick his own back. Very well done figures. I love Lockies. They're fantastic. And I find they're a great gateway for people that don't know how to build models, but want to like have something where they could kind of do it in a controlled, safe environment. Don't need glue, don't need paint, don't need to mess with stickers. Just really good stuff. Really, really good stuff. So there's that one there. Then we have, of course, also we have the pre-orders from Takara Tomy on their side with T-Spark. So our MPG, our next Masterpiece Generations, MPG 23, Secret Agent RC. Looks great. Only unfortunate thing is it's a straight up redeco of the MP51 RC. MP51 RC, fantastic tooling. I love that mold. I love that figure. It sits predominantly in my Masterpiece display up front and center. She looks great. It's just a shame that, they're going with the prototype colors and not including anything that's too different. Maybe a prototype scaled kind of head or something, or maybe even a different, face expression would have been cool, but it is what it is. Straight up redeco. I will give Takara credit here, though. So, when last I talked about this, I talked about how the original MP 51 RC was 16,300 yen back in 2019. And I was like, ooh, I don't know. We've had triple inflation since 2019. We've had COVID. We've had companies always giving all kinds of excuses. To Takara Tomy's credit, this is 6,619 yen, which when you do exchange rate as of this recording is $104 USD, which in all honesty is like $1 more than what it was, 7 years ago. So all the credit to Takara Tomy. What's up, Aaron? All the credit to Takara Tomy. The fact that they didn't do a crazy price increase on this, despite it being just a redeco, all the credit to them. So very, very cool. Again, I'm kind of tempted to pick this one up because it's only $100. It's not too bad, and this is a stellar tooling. And I love the prototype RC colors. There's a lot of history tied with that. So I'm on the fence if I want to pick it up, but it is something that's pretty cool. I dig it. Looks really nice. And and of course, this one's going to be shipping out on Boxing Day for us Canadians. It's going to be shipping out December 26th, 2026 at the end of the year. Pre-orders are up right now. I would suggest Amazon or Ami would probably be your best bet to get your best bang for your buck. And then, of course, we got this bad boy that has been dividing people because there's a lot of individuals that are angry about picking up the individual limbs up to this point, expecting to make a complete Menasor, and then Takara putting this one out, which, with the exception of the dead end, is clearly a better deco overall of these characters. We have, of course, the New Legends NL02 G2 Menasor box set from Takara Tomy. Looking great. I love how all the deco hits, even the top of Motormaster's roof of his truck mode, all the little decos, all the little paint hits that match up with that original 1993, 1994 prototype that never came to be. Looks really great. And again, quite surprised with the pricing. 26,619 yen. With exchange today, about $167. Now, when you think about what commander classes are today, you're already $100 up just when you get Motormaster. Just him alone would be $100. And then you would have 4 deluxes, which are $27.99 today. That would easily put you over another $100, but this is only 167 USD after exchange, at least if you buy it from Amazon Japan. So, very good price, very affordable, fantastic way to get a piece of Transformers obscurity history, if anything. Great decos on them. I really like, now finally being able to see a proper deco rollout for like Wild Rider and, of course, Motormaster in a modern sense. This looks fantastic. And again, they used a UV lighting apparently on all of these characters. So it works with black light also, which is fascinating. So there's even a little bit of an extra deco lighting on it. They put paint in areas that would have been much more difficult to paint on because of the quality of paint that was used. They really emphasize that in the copy and the product listing for this on Takara's website. So very, very cool. If you're interested, it's also on Amazon Japan right now, amazon.jp, and pre-order right now for 167. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. This one I'm definitely interested in for sure. Then, of course, another pre-order dropped. A lot of pre-orders today. And of course, we have the much anticipated 30th anniversary Transformers Beast Wars Predacon collection. Been talking about this since last week. Now we know how much it's going to cost, when it's going to be shipping out, and it's going to be $219.99, so $220, which is really good because this tells us what potentially also the maximal pack will cost, because at $220, that means everything here is priced more or less during like that legacy era, like 2022, like the first inflation that we got. So everything is priced really well, comes with a nice box. That means that if we get a maximal set, assuming it doesn't have like Silverbolt, which would be kind of the weird one out on the set, but if Silverbolt's left out, which I think he should be in my opinion, just kind of stick with the season 1 maximals. Uh, this is something that'll probably be like, the maximal one, I imagine, like 210, 200 max. I'm imagining 210. They'll round it off to 210 to justify it. But still, very, very cool. Excited about this. Again, for anyone who wasn't able to get the Kingdom molds for whatever reason, or in the case of the Tarantulas, the Legacy mold, for anyone who didn't get the Japanese decos that had way more paint deco apps on this, this is a fantastic opportunity. If you're just someone who's a huge Beast Wars fan like I am, it's just an awesome box set of iconic characters that are all like, any one of these characters would be a top tier character in any other Transformer series. So absolutely fantastic. Very excited about this one. And what's great too, so this literally ships out in less than 2 months. June 1st, 2026. Now, what that tells me is for sure this is going to come out. And then what's going to happen afterwards is probably, since it's so early, like June, and this is going to come out, we'll probably get the maximal one not long after it. Like we'll get a pre-order for it. I imagine maybe it'll be a San Diego Comic-Con kind of thing. They'll have the San Diego Comic-Con box set. And also, what's good news for Canadians, if you are Canadian, uh, Electronic Boutique, aka EB Games, recently signed a contract with Hasbro Pulse that they will be the exclusive distributor of Hasbro Pulse exclusives in their store at a cut cost, meaning like if you look at the exchange rate from American to Canadian, it might even be cheaper if you buy it locally. So that's really cool. That was news that broke literally 3 days ago. And I talked to one of my friends who actually is a manager at EB Games, and he's like, "Yeah, dude, like they're leaning heavily into toys because video games, unfortunately, is not going to be their focus, which is sad, but that's just kind of the way it is, even though their name is Electronic Boutique, although it's EB Games now. So either way, so if you're Canadian, also keep that in mind if you're interested in this and you don't have access to Hasbro Pulse Premium, or just don't buy off of Hasbro Pulse at all. This is an opportunity for you that you could probably get later on when these box sets will be available in store. And who knows, maybe I'm just saying, maybe even clearance at some point. You never know. If you have if you have opportunities, you never know. Always thinking about the back end, giggity. You never know. We got a super chat from Joseph. How you doing, Joseph? Dope shirt. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. I heard a Soundwave one is coming during a certain show. Oh, you're talking about a Soundwave shirt. Well, that'll be a San Diego Comic-Con thing, I imagine. So stay tuned for that. And which actually, that isn't too far away. It isn't too far away. We're already April. Before you know it, it's going to be May. Before you know it, it's going to be June. Before you know it, it's going to be July. And July is going to be stacked with TFCon, San Diego Comic-Con. I know I'm forgetting other stuff, but it's going to be a very, very, very busy month, to say the least. But thank you, Joseph, for the $5 super chat. Thank you for liking the Symbiote Studio shirt. Or is it the jacket you like? No, it's the shirt. So yeah, there's that too. So check that out. Again, great price. I mean, I can't stress enough. Like, I only bought one of the 2 packs from the Takara one. I bought the Optimus Primal and the Megatron, and I was so impressed with how much paint was put on the Megatron. I was like, man, if I had more money, because I'm not made of money, unfortunately, but if I had more money, I would have bought all of these, and I just couldn't afford it. These things were like 100 and something a pair, and now you're going to be able to get all of them for like one cozy cost, and it's the highfalutin decos, and it's cheap. Man, it's good stuff. Once in a while, we get some good stuff. And last but not least, I want to give a shout out and congratulations to Eric Siebeneller. Eric recently posted on his Instagram that he will be joining back into the Hasbro fray of madness and working on some brands. Stay tuned for that. So congratulations to you, Eric, and back into the Rhode Island craziness. And enjoy the weather, and may God have mercy on your soul. Have fun, my friend. And I'll see you probably at San Diego and who knows where else in the near future. And that's it, more or less, for the news. What else do we got? We got to financially support Beast Wars whenever, yeah, Media Max, I agree with you completely. Well, I mean, it was funny too because so many people were like, "Oh my god, like it's 86 movie, 86 movie. We're only talking about 86 movie. Like, where's our Beast Wars love?" And so, I mean, this is like, look, it's not new tooling, but it's something absolutely fantastic in my opinion because those Beast Wars, again, Japanese repaints were the best versions of all those characters. And especially if you're someone, because even though, look, we don't have the Maximal set yet, but when we do get the Maximal set, Tigatron's going to be part of that. And we know all the drama that happened with that Tigatron mold and how it was yellowing and it has so many problems. Although, again, I always keep mine nearby. Mine survived. Like, mine didn't do too bad. But again, I think it's the weather in my basement. I think it's just because it's cold down here and it never gets hot. But I mean, at least you'll get the Japanese one, and that one will be perfect because the Japanese fans, reported no problems with it because it was just covered in really good plastic and paint. So yeah, very, very cool. Very, very cool. And that's it for the news. So let's get into some sponsorship, and then we'll talk about some cool stuff that we got. Just 2 little things here and there. And then we'll take some super chats from the fans as always. So first up, of course, let's talk about it. Symbiote Studios. Plush pins and t-shirts. Of course, it was just pointed out I'm rocking their Starscream today. Their awesome Starscream shirt with Catnip Bravo. as well as many others that are on their website. You get the Grimlock. There's actually another Grimlock too that's on their website too. It's all available. Go check it out. Their new swoop is available now. Their new Laserbeak is available now in stock on their website. The Autobot Decepticon pillows. There's going to be a lot more inventory coming in the near future. Of course, San Diego will lead to more reveals. What's up, Larry? Will lead to more reveals and stuff. And stay tuned for that. Even a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive plush, which I'm sure is going to sell out in a million seconds. So, and of course, like I said, the new Catnip Bravo Starscream is on the site. We got the swoop that's available, the shoulder sitter uh, Laserbeak that sold out like almost instantly at TFCon LA that past weekend. Great stuff as always. Go check it out. SymbioteStudios.com. And of course, we got their pony collection, which isn't updated here. I just threw a bunch of ponies on here because they have so many ponies on their website. It's hard to keep track. All their different ponies and pony pins and pony clothing and Magic the Gathering, which I got to get those. I got to get those boxed Magic the Gathering pins. But yeah, a lot of good stuff there too. So check out symbiotestudios.com, and thank you, Symbiote Studios, for sponsoring this podcast. Best bright colored dinosaur, G2 Grimlock, and not Beast Wars stuff. Well, G2 is always good too. Very Beast Wars and G2 are very 90s, just two different spectrums of the 90s. Beast Wars is late 90s, so it's serious grunge, and G2 is early 90s, which is the flamboyant colors and rap music. The aerial bots are taking their shots. Silver bullets shooting Combaticons. Change to be rearranged to make the super robot Superion. You know, as it is. What else we got? We also have the newest episode of the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. Go check it out. Very well received thus far. It's almost hitting 3,000 views already at this point. If you want to hear me and Aaron Archer talk about an hour about the creation of Transformers Classics, the most important Transformers line of the modern age, in that everything that we talk about today in Transformers and buy of Transformers comes from classics. So check it out, learn a bunch of stuff, cool behind the scenes images. We had some Don Figueroa sketch art there, prototypes, all kinds of really good stuff. Very good segment. You'll learn something new on that one, that's for sure. I know some of the TF Wiki people started updating the old Wikipedia once this segment was out, but that's what we do here. That's what we do here. We update the wiki for you. Well, actually, I don't bother with the wiki. Wiki's a hot mess, but sometimes they'll get their facts straight through the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. Check it out, yo. Very good. If you enjoy hearing my voice here, go check out the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. Go support it. Check it out. Give it a sub. Check it, everything. If you want to support more, check out, of course, Aaron Archer's Posca paintings. I believe the Ironhide has been sold today. So this slide is a little incomplete. When I did this slide, the Ironhide sold out. So, but there's a bunch of other ones on archermonster.com/shop. Own a piece of Transformers history. Own a original instruction between 15 and 20 years old with original art drawn on it of the corresponding character from the man who worked on them. Look how happy Shia is. A lot of good ones there. I believe the animated Soundwave is still there. I believe the Rodimus and the Unicron is still there. I could be wrong. I know that the Ironhide, as of this recording, has sold though. So I don't know. Aaron's in the chat. He could double check for me and confirm. But yeah. Yeah. Good stuff. Check it out. Again, archermonster.com/shop. Check that out. And of course, since it's April now, let's talk about it. Might as well. Got to also promote myself. Might as well. Issue number 3 of Mega Man X will be hitting stores April 22nd, 2026. That'll be New Comic Book Wednesday. The Transformer artist featured this time around on cover C, that's the cover on the top right there, will be Marcello Mattieri, Mr. Transformers box art himself, the guy who does all the box art for our current Transformer product. He is the featured artist this time on our cover Cs. He'll be doing the X versus a certain individual that is key to the past and history of X's origins. Stay tuned for that. And of course, we got the Sigma cover that's done by Hanzo. We got the puzzle cover, which you have to buy all 6 covers to do the big puzzle poster. That's done by Edwin Huang. We got Chamba that did the Super Nintendo cartridge cover, and we got Atomic Marshmallow that did the waifu cover. And she's doing an amazing job as always and selling out like crazy because those covers are doing very, very well. Again, all these will be available April 22nd, 2026 at your local comic book store. If you do not have a local comic book store in your area, udonentertainment.com has you covered. You could order directly through them and have it shipped right to your door, protected in a bag and board for your comic book collecting needs. And thank you for the love and support, everyone. The Mega Man X book shattered the top 125 comic books in the world. We beat the likes of Spawn, Fantastic Four, Doctor Doom, Harley Quinn. I could go on and on. I am so happy with how much you guys tuned out for that. And we're doing great. And we'll have the numbers for issue number 1, because it was issue number 0 we got the numbers for. We'll have the numbers for issue number 1 and their sales numbers hopefully later next week. And but from what I heard, we did really, really good. So stay tuned for that. And lastly, this came fresh off the press. I can't show the inside of it, but the Free Comic Book Day book is now off the press. Going to be shipped out to all the comic book stores for Free Comic Book Day, which will be May 2nd, the first Saturday of May. And Free Comic Book Day, you'll see that on the top there. You walk into your local comic book store on May 2nd, you go, give me the Proto Man issue. Give me the Transformer guys Mega Man comic book with Proto Man on the cover. And they'll give it to you for free. So check that out. Again, this was done with Josh Perez, with Chamba, with Mick Fong, a very talented individual out of Hong Kong who worked on Mega Man comic books many, many years ago during the Dreamwave days. This is the Showdown Special, issue number 1, Proto Man versus Base. Who will win? Vote now. Vote now. I love how people are like, oh, Proto Man wins because Proto Man wrote it. It's like, maybe not. Maybe not. Who will win? You do not know. So check that out. That'll be coming out May 2nd. Free Comic Book Day, as well as a whole bunch of other stuff. If you go to freecomicbookday.com, they actually have a store locator on their website, so you could find out if there's a local store in your area that will be participating, and you could go get yourself some free books. There's a Transformer book also, too. Skybound's doing a Transformer book, too, so you could pick up my Mega Man book. You could pick up the Transformer book. I believe there's a Street Fighter book, too. You could pick that one up. A lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff. Where we at here? Cringe McCringle next week. Josh Duhamel might take Shia's place. Oh, we'll get some Josh Duhamel holding some Aaron Archer art. That'd be really cool. That'd be really, really cool. We'll stay tuned for that. Maybe next week we'll have a new slide for sure. Thank you, Cringe McCringle. And check out Cringe McCringle. He put out he put out a April Fool's segment, but then he put out a legitimate toy review of Wingblade Optimus Prime from Animated. So go check that out also. Joseph with the question, Mega Man X issue number 1 gave me a paper cut and the offer refused to sign my copy at San Diego Comic-Con. Okay, Joseph. First of all, we didn't even have issue number 1 at the time at San Diego, but yeah. I know Joseph's trolling. Joseph likes to troll. But yeah, definitely by San Diego, we'll have a lot to announce by San Diego. There's a lot of big stuff coming. Can't talk about it right now, but it'll definitely be ground zero for a lot of big Mega Man news and stuff like that, and of course Transformer news too. I'm gonna be like so busy that weekend. It's gonna be crazy, but it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. So again, check out Free Comic Book Day. So you'll pick up my new Mega Man X book on April 22nd, and then a week or so after that, Free Comic Book Day, you can pick up a whole bunch of cool stuff. And always support your local comic book shops. They keep us going every day. Every day. Where are we at? Where are we at? So, Cringe McCringle, Tim Allen is the best. Yeah, well, that's how it is. That's pretty much how it is. It's fun. You know what you should have done? They did Disney Label back in the day. There used to be Disney Label, which was like a Transformers offshoot segmentation from Takara that they would do these like Transformer Disney characters. And they did like, obviously they started with Mickey Mouse and they did Donald Duck, and then they did a whole bunch of redecos of those. And then they did a Disney Label Toy Story Transformers Buzz Lightyear. You should have like almost like had that one too. That one's out there somewhere. It's not the best figure in the world. I have Actually, I have both of them. I totally forgot. I have both the Mickey Mouse and the Donald Duck, and I have them mint in box, and I've never opened them. My wife bought them at a TFCon because she thought they were cute, and I remember like she showed them to me, and I was talking with Derek Wyatt at the time. She's like, "Look what I bought," and I was like, "Oh God," you know. And Derek just laughed. But they sit in my Animorphs display right now because that just shows how much I care about those, you know. But yeah, there's a Buzz Lightyear one out there, so might as well get that one. Sarah, how you doing? Says I'm back. Amazon Mexico put last week the Omega Prime HasLab at $170 with free shipping because breaking issues was now so. Really? So Amazon Mexico has Omega Prime from HasLab on there for $170. Man, that if that is true, that is messy. That is some messy stuff. If that is true, man, that HasLab had so many. Look, I hope that Lyle Kaiser goes without a hitch and works out great. Although we're all still waiting with no update right now. And the sad thing is you guys will probably get it before me anyway, because I get a sample version, and my sample versions are always like I get them way after everyone else gets them. So, but yeah, I hope it works out at least because the Lyle Kaiser looks cool as hell. So, just hope there's no issues. I mean, if Kill Bison has gold plastic syndrome, my goodness, then nothing was learned. Media Max, Yo Proto, what is the best way? Excuse me. What's the best way they could do transmetals today? Is there any good way to do vacuum chrome? Here's the thing, vacuum chrome could be done. And hold on, just to finish it off here, is metallic paint too much of a mainline budget? Vacuum. We'll start with the first part. Vacuum chrome could be done. It's just it's a health thing, and it's something where we still get like vacuum chrome on figures here and there. It's still in certain areas, but it's not done in the mass level that it used to be. Now you get like a silver chrome on the odd masterpiece figure here and there, but it's just to do it on a mass level for like a main line that's obviously going to have like 100,000 units and stuff. And when you're talking transmetals, it's a large surface of the figure. It Metallic paint is just the way to go. Like, where's hold on a second, let me grab Light Long here. So like Light Long from Wild King, right? Like if you look at I wish I could show it better in the if you looked at the chip that's used for his maybe I could fix the lighting here on this. I don't think I can. But his little Elematros chip on his chest, it has a really sheen of metallic paint on it. It doesn't come through, and it comes through a little bit. I mean, if they could just do like a metallic kind of painting like that, and to show you like on the other side of it, because obviously like wish I had something to show it better, but one moment. One moment. I want to put it on something to kind of show you guys properly. It gets my hands in the way, but if you see like on the back, it's not painted at all, but in the front, you know, nice sheen. So it's something where if they could do something like that and have the budget for it, yeah, I think that's what's really been holding back uh transmetals up to this point in a lot of ways is just how do we tackle it and make it affordable. Every transmetal is a triple changer, so there's that extra engineering kind of thing you got to think about. It's unfortunately not 1997 1998 anymore where the budget is more open-ended for that. I mean, I'm surprised we even got the fusors really, but we're slowly dipping into that now with Quick Strike and Silverbolt, which is great, that we're getting into that. But I would imagine if it was me, and this is kind of a sad reality, is and this is a really sad reality, is we got those Beast Wars 30th anniversary packs that we're getting. Um, yeah, okay, we're celebrating 30th anniversary of Beast Wars. We're giving these great box sets and everything, but let's not be, no, let's not see like the bushes through the forest here. Um, there's also a way to refresh the trademark for the next 4 years, because think about it, like Kingdom was 4 years ago, you know. So all of those Cheetors, Rhinoxes, Black Arachnias, every single one of those trademarks, Tigatrons. Yeah, okay, there was you know, bot shots and all kinds of stuff, and swapticons and everything that also help with refreshing some of those trademarks, but not all of them. You know, we didn't get a new Pterosaur, we didn't get a new, Optimus Primal outside of Rise of the Beasts. So a lot of those too, they kind of have to be, refreshed. I mean, Tarantulas obviously is a much later one, with them being in Legacy. And then some of the more later releases, like Tigatron was a later one, who was like a last wave guy. But there's a few of them, So let's be real. That's kind of what's going on too. And the reason why I'll bring this up is because a lot of the Transmetal characters that you want are already named trademarks of that bubble. You want Transmetals, it's going to be Optimus Primal, it's going to be Rat Trap, it's going to be Cheetor, it's going to be like, if you want to stretch it to the toy only ones of the Rhinoxes and everything, that's where you kind of fall into that. If you go into like, even like, Pterosaur, like there's less of an opportunity there, and I imagine they won't do a transmetal Pterosaur. But personally, they will happen, but I don't think it'll be anytime soon. Like, I don't like I think that's something that they're gonna wait a couple of years before they do that. Because I don't know. I almost see them doing reissues before they would do new ones. Just me. Which is a shame, because I would love some updated ones. I mean, I think Cheetor's Transmetal toy needs a excruciating update. I think the original, as great as it was, wasn't screen accurate. So that's the way I kind of see it. But I mean, it is what it is. And Transmetal 2's it falls into the same category. And there's a lot of cool Transmetal 2 characters, like Eyes on Ace said there, Transmetal 2 Prowl. I love that character, both versions too. I always like I like to consider the white one is Prowl and the black one is Blue Streak. That's always kind of how I saw it. Um, Manning Fresh with the $5 super chat. Thank you, Manning Fresh. Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir, to you too. Do you think we will ever get a HasLab of a transforming Autobot City of the 86 movie? Love the show. Looking forward to it each week. Well, thank you, Manning Fresh. I think something like Metroplex should be a retail item, but the only problem is we're entering a new era now where Titan classes are having a weird retail footprint. Like, we had Star Optimus. He did okay. A lot of people didn't see him in retail except for like very specialty stores or GameStop or something like that. He did okay from what I heard in terms of sales. It's an Optimus that was a Titan class. Has a better chance. It already, right out of the gate, it has a better chance of sales, even though it's a weird one. That's why they called it Star Optimus, not Star Convoy. They really wanted to emphasize, hey, and they made it cheaper. So they made it $150. I mean, I'll be honest with you, that was a Commander class toy in a Titan class box. I'm just saying, you know. But when you're talking like Autobot City, when you're talking Metroplex, my follow-up question for you is, how big do you want this guy? Like, what would be a size that would satisfy you? I mean, we already got the first one, which also had a San Diego redeco and a Japanese version. Would you want something that's that same size, that same thinness, that same engineering? Or would you be more happy with something that's significantly smaller, like the Star Optimus? If you're happy with something that's like the Star Optimus, then I could see it happening at a retail level. If you want something that's much more bigger, like what we're used to of the old Titan classes, that's something that I could see more being a HasLab item. Because we're entering a world where I feel the traditional Titan class outside of redecos, which are much more an affordable manufacturing process, but outside of the redecos, I imagine a lot of big traditional Titans are going to have to be like maybe something like a HasLab item. Because you look at even the Titan class Grimlock that we have from Age of Extinction. I saw that thing in person. I got to mess with that thing in person, the prototype at San Diego Comic Con. It's that pseudo commander class level. It's not 100% commander class, but it's definitely like encroaching on that. And when I mean commander class, I'm talking commander classes as we used to know them, aka Siege Jetfire. So it's in that kind of space. So I don't know. It's a tough one. I I have a weird opinion when it comes to HasLab items on the Transformer side of things. I like what HasLab does with some of the other brands, not all of them. Tron was a dumpster fire, but I do like, you know, what they do. It's just doesn't need to be a HasLab. That's always been my thing, you know? So it's something that it's really what do you want out of Metroplex? And then the repercussions of what you want out of it. Well, I want them to be like the old Metroplex from Thrilling 30. Well, then it's going to probably end up being a HasLab item, which is going to have the HasLab tax, as I like to call it. So, if a HasLab is a Titan, should it be bigger than Unicron? I don't think we'll have anything as big as Unicron ever again. I think, and I've said this many times over and over on the live stream, I think Unicron scared Hasbro. I think that they went, oh, this is a surefire bet. This is going to do well. And it's Unicron. It's the biggest Transformer, and the biggest Transformer should be the biggest Transformer. And I don't think it did as well as people thought it did. And what's crazy is people didn't want to pay that price back then in pre-COVID world. What do you think Unicron would cost if they wanted to sell it today? They're going to ask a $900 USD for it. I'm telling you, like, if you think about what the costs were, 2019, what Unicron cost back then, and then the 30 to 45% price increase we've seen since then in our products, it's going to be very pricey. And I don't think that they'd want to take a risk on something like that. It's so much easier to give us something that is a commander class, sell it to us for $189.99, call it Deathsaurus, and call it a day, or $200. Like I think that we're not going to see those big crazy Transformer items anymore, at least for a long time. Until there's a little more, I guess, retail confidence. I mean, think about think about this, right? Think about how much retail confidence and mainstream stuff has changed for Transformers since that Unicron. We had two movies that underperformed. Rise of the Beast like broke even at best, and toy sales for their main line didn't do well. That went straight to clearance, a lot of it. Not saying studio series, I'm saying their mainline green package stuff. And Transformers 1 lost money, and its mainline blue package stuff went straight to clearance. I go to Winners, Marshalls, whatever you guys call it, TJ Maxx. I go there all the time, every week, and I still see Transformer 1 products, specifically that Blur 3 pack, like the Iacon 500 race pack and the switching Autobot chest and all that stuff. So it's something where, you know, to take a risk on a big pricey item like that in a soft market right now, where it was much more stronger in 2019 coming off of like Siege going into Earthrise, I don't know. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. It really is. Think about it. Like We didn't even have, like, we were just getting our jet fires from commander class. We were just about to, pick up, in the following year, we were going to pick up, Scorponok. Like we already had gotten, some of the other characters. Like, we're going to get Scorponok soon as a Titan class. It was a very different environment back then. Today, I don't know. I don't know. They would have to have a lot of confidence. And not to mention the San Diego Comic-Con exclusives, which are always kind of out there ideas. Those usually don't sell very well at the show, and they end up in retail and partners afterwards because there's so much excess inventory. They'd have to have a lot of confidence, a lot of good sales to justify something big and crazy like that. Even though that's what I want, I understand why they ain't doing it from a business standpoint, because it's too risky. It's too risky. Like, I would want Primus to be, a 40th anniversary item, but could they pull it off? It's the only thing that I think they could of that size. Cybertron. That's the only thing I could think of. Because, here, Alden Tolbert, hate to say it, bring Tornatron to come back. See, like Tornatron, I'm assuming that's what he's trying to say instead of Tornadron. But Tornatron, very obscure. Call of the Primitives. Who knows that? You know what I mean? When you're going to have a big expensive item that let's play devil's advocate. Let's say every single Walmart only gets one. Just one. Your Walmart only gets one. That's 3,000 units minimum right there. Every Target only gets one. That's 2,700 units right there. Every mom and pop store that buys Transformers only gets one. It's not even going to be worth it for them to do 10,000 units that won't sell for a very obscure Titan class, you know, whatever that would look like with him, draining energy. Look, he would look like a giant Kremzik, if anything. So I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. It's something that I would definitely have to like sit down with Hasbro people on the manufacturing side of things and know that landscape first before coming to a better conclusion. Because you can't just go with like, oh, this would be cool, but what's the manufacturing side of it and the expectations also? Because that would also make it difficult. But that's because mainline TF1 toys were too kiddie. Well, but you have to have kid product too. You have to have kid product also. The only problem is that you could have kid products, but if kids are not interested, then they will not pick it up. Like, look, to give an example, Jax. Jax has the license to the Pokemon toys, right? And Jax does very toyetic push the back of Gengar, his tongue comes out, or you push this latch on the back of Charmander and he swings his tail. Very, action feature toyetic kind of Pokemon toys. They always sell insanely well. Why? Kids love Pokemon. How many kids ages 5 to 7 care about Transformers? That's where we're having a problem. That's where we're losing an audience. You need to be able to get back that demo. And I mean, I have some theories of how you could do it, but it's going to involve firing a lot of people and restructuring a system because in order to rebrand Transformers for a whole new generation, there's going to have to be some investments and there's going to have to be some losses, unfortunately. Like the reality is, and it's not just because I'm blowing Aaron because he's in the chat today, but Aaron Archer had to step up to take over as the main lead for Transformers, while other Kenner guys had to step down from the Kenner into the Rhode Island office in order for that change to happen. Also, with Brian Goldner coming in from Bandai into Hasbro to be the new CEO, changes had to happen for Unicron Trilogy to reface the brand, to make it toyetic, to appeal to a different demographic of younger kids, which Armada was successful. Doesn't matter what an adult fan said at that time. It's the worst thing ever. Oh, the toys are so childish, play school. Doesn't matter what the adult fans felt. What did the kids fans felt? Because those kids of those 5-year-old kids of Armada are in their 30s today, and they're the ones buying product. So, needless to say, there's a lot of restructuring that would have to be done from that toyetic kid side of things because kids didn't show up for Transformers 1. If they did, they would have done well. And the reason why I say that is because Transformers 2007, the Michael Bay movie, had fast action battlers. And fast action battlers had wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. They did fast action battlers in Revenge of the Fallen. Why did it continue? Because money talks. Whatever sells well continues. If you ever messed with a fast action battler, excuse me one moment. Let's grab one. Let's go with jazz. Ugh. I have every single fast action battler because I was a psycho back then. This is fast action battler movie jazz. It is, for lack of better words, Armada like. Very simple. Like, just literally, like, here, let's even transform it. This is how simple it is. Goes up, tuck that in, and you're halfway there. You know what I mean? Very simple, toyetic, spring-loaded weapon. Everyone had some kind of like spring-loaded something or weapon or grappling hook or whatever. These sold very well to kids. This was the entry point. You had the regular deluxe jazz that was for the much more adult collector, and then you had the fast action battler that was much more for a younger audience. Aaron's in the chat right now. He could speak for it too. He was on the drawing room floor when this stuff was happening. Cringe McCringle was that kid who was there. See? Cringe McCringle right now. He's even saying it. So it's like, but that's the reality of that. Is that this stuff was the name of the game back then because there was a market for it. There was kids who loved those Michael Bay movies, and this was their way to engage with it that wasn't too complicated. Like one, two, like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're done. Obviously, I'm not like folding it completely, but you understand? Like 5 steps, 6 steps at best. Has an action feature with a spring-loaded missile. Everybody's happy, you know? Everybody's happy. Well, yeah, the plastic quality obviously is better too. This was strong ABS plastic for 2007, obviously manufactured in 2006 and engineered in 2006. But I mean, look, there's like not many deco hits. There's a little bit on the chest and a little bit on the legs there and on the back for the kept affordable. But when you have kids who love Transformers, they don't mind this kind of stuff. They don't mind. Archer monster, tee hee, easy, easy, easy. That looks good. Yeah, well, let me get my phone. I'll show you guys a picture of some of the other action battlers. That was a tongue twister, that one. Put it back in there. Let's take a photo of the Michael Bay battles. Show you guys that. I wish I could bring the camera over there, but there we go. There you go. Come on, zoom in a little bit better, but all of that Michael Bay madness, those are all fast action battlers mixed with some of their regular versions, and you got that big old Ultimate Bumblebee there. They did well. They did well. We got a gold super chat from J.R. Mina. Gold super chat. Hey, Proto. Thank you, J.R. Mina. Hey, Proto. Have you heard of a War for Cybertron Siege Greenlight reissue? I've heard about that. That's actually a really good one. One of the trusted sellers here in the Philippines already has it on pre-order. Haven't seen it announced yet. I heard about that. Um, I haven't talked about it on the podcast yet because my source hasn't talked about it yet, and there's someone that I usually rely on to double check things before I talk about it as news. Um, if that is true, I've heard about it. If that is true, that's fantastic news because that is a figure that right now goes for stupid money. It was early Hasbro web shop Pulse kind of stuff. Now it goes for like $150 sealed, no problem for a deluxe figure. And hey, I've said it before and I'll say it again. If Hasbro knows that they could put out something and get that money, oh, people are paying $150 for this deluxe class. We could put it out there for $27.99 and people will buy 4 of them. Sure, they'll get that money. They'll get that money. I saw that news. I don't know if it's true though. That's the only thing because my source didn't say anything about it. So that's where I was like hesitant to talk about it. So, but yeah, Tom Laney says it's an April Fool's joke. Maybe it was. Again, my source didn't say anything, and if my source doesn't say anything, I'm always like, okay, then I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. What did Sarah say? By the way, thank you for the question, J.R. Mina. Thank you. Sarah says, speaking of plastic quality, I bought Devastation BBB, I guess Bumblebee, and plastic feels great, like the old Beast Wars toys used to have. Well, again, plastic quality has always stayed consistent since 2016 or 2017 when they did a switch from the ABS to the MABS. Uh, Depending on which line you're buying also determined the choice of that plastic quality. So the switch to Vietnam didn't happen right away for Masterpiece until I want to say 2019. It was still being made in China, and then they slowly moved it all to Vietnam. And they still use strong ABS for the high end line. Same thing, like Wild King. This is real high quality ABS plastic, but this is a Japanese product. Even though, let me see, is this one still in Vietnam? Yeah, this one's still Vietnam, but it still uses high quality ABS. But when you get into these guys, unfortunately, not so much the case. Look, I love my Cronus, but not so much the case. The plastic quality is a little different because they save money that way. Less robust mold injection. It's much thinner the injection. It's not filled out as much. People use the term waffling. That's the fandom term, but it's one way to save a lot of money by not injecting as much into the mold and everything. I wish I had a good example nearby. Everything's in the displays, but it is what it is, unfortunately. It is what it is. It's in Yeah, I see people say like, Hasbro's being cheap. It's Hasbro trying to maintain profits. It's them going like just to simplify it, right? Let's say they did an amazing year and their profits was 1,000. I'm not going to say $1,000. I'm just going to just put a number just to kind of quantify that for you guys. We made 1,000, you know, and then the following year, it didn't do well. Sales were down. So in order to keep that profit at 1,000, if sales go down, you reduce costs. It's the oldest trick in the book, you know? If you sold a product for X and it made you 1,000, and then you sold less of that product the following year, if you reduce the plastic mold injection, reduce, deco hits, if you reduce, best example, packaging itself, let's not do something with a bubble. Let's do something that's a lot more, simple cardboard. Like this is a folded piece of cardboard. Like let's be real. This is a folded piece of cardboard that's then turned into what would be considered a card back, you know, as opposed to a much more robust box let's use the Mega Man Jada one here as an example with a window and everything and a clear hang, and then on the inside too to have a tray. All of that adds up. You're shipping thousands of units of a Micronus, like let me grab Micronus's box. Use him as an example. So here's Micronus's box, only the window here and a paper hang, as opposed to Jada that uses a plastic hang and it's all around. Now Jada is a smaller company and they're just making less profits and they're not as crazy. And that's not that I'm taking Jada's side, but they're trying to maintain a profit margin. What I'm saying is what I'm saying is what they're doing is not right and or wrong. It's just the way of business, unfortunately. They want to keep their profits up. So it's it's sad. That's why the windows have shrunk throughout the years. You don't really have the big windows that really feature the item anymore. Now it's just kind of a small window. You could kind of see the character. You grab a more modern example, one that I actually worked on the copy for, you know? So it's like, it's much more smaller window where it would have been a window that would have like been on this side and this side, if it would have been a boxed product. I mean, a lot of stuff during the Archer days were more on a bubble where plastic was the name of the game and cardboard was secondary, you know? So that's it's them trying to keep their profits up. And they're at the end of the day, guys, they're a company. And the company's job is to make money. And sometimes customers suffer for that. You could love eating a chocolate bar. Oh, I love Kit Kat. It's my favorite chocolate bar. I love Kit Kat. And then if you were like a Kit Kat enthusiast, you'd be like, huh, chocolate quality's not as good as much. Or they're shrinking the chocolate bars, they're giving less grams. They still want to charge, $1 for that Kit Kat bar in the impulse aisle at Walmart, but now it's smaller now, but they're still charging the same price. And the chocolate quality is more waxy now. And you start noticing ingredients have been changing throughout the years. Exact same thing that's happening in our world. Prices are increasing, plastic quality is decreasing, ingredients are changing, which is the plastic type that's being used, shrinkflation, deluxe is getting smaller. It's happening in every industry. It's just that we're hyper fixated on Transformers because it's our world and our love, you know, that companies are going to do to so their CEOs could have those gold encrusted swimming pools. It's just how it is, unfortunately. It's just how it is, So it's something that, and I've said this before, enjoy the hobby, and get the best that you can out of it. That's always how it should be. Oh, well, potato chips, anything, Tom, anything. Butters' hair is getting all up on my nose because he's down here and he's throwing his hair up here. Oh, Butters. Crack open a second bottle of water. But yeah, yeah, I know. I heard that story with the Kit Kats. Hilarious. I was going to show you guys. Let me show you guys what I got. What I got today. So this dude showed up in my Walmart yesterday. Picked him up. Got Quintus Prime. Very happy about that. So that's very cool. Again, I'm not a big fan of paying retail, but the original 13 is a special case. I don't see these guys ever happening again. This is going to be a lot. Like we'll get another Fallen figure, or Megatronus probably a few times, but like Liege Maximo, Quintus, Amalgamus, some of those other ones, I don't know when they're going to want to use those characters again. So picking these up at full price, this is like almost $50 Canadian. We're getting ripped off here in Canada. But whatever. I'm pulling the band-aid, getting closer to having my original 13. And yeah. Quintus, yeah. One more. But I left everything else from that wave assortment behind because I ain't paying full price for those guys. So I'll wait for sales. There's always all kinds of stuff and everything like that. Second thing I got Well, I have the photos on my phone actually. One moment. So Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool, famous Canadian, uh, he's doing a promotion with Tim Hortons here in Canada, and he's doing the Ryan's signature donut, the Ryan Reynolds edition. This is an empty box because we already ate the donut, but I kept the box to show you guys before I throw it out. And it's his special maple butter glazed donut. So I took a photo of it for you guys because I figured you guys would want to see it. So Ryan Reynolds is doing some weird donut thing. Let me find the picture of it. Well, there you go. It's just a maple glazed. It reminds me of a Krispy Kreme donut with like a honey maple glaze on top of it, like a little like spread. That's what it tastes like to me personally. And it comes in a fancy box with his autograph on the side and everything. Sure. So I got that today too. There's that silliness. And then she got a Lego. She got a Lego thing. She got some Lego stuff. But otherwise, slim pickings. A lot of pricey things out there, and let's just say I enjoy my money more than I enjoy being poor. So it's I always say wait for a sale. Ashnud, the minimum acceptable product at the lowest possible price is the dream of every accountant. Well, it's something where we're in a weird place right now where stuff is getting really costly year after year after year. And Hasbro and other toy companies are seeing how far we could push that, you know? I mean, I used to joke with a friend, we used to collect SH figure arts of stuff. I would buy like the Kaniku Man ones and then the odd JoJo Bizarre Adventure. That's a different line of SH figure arts like figures, but I even had the Mario ones. Those things were like $20 back in the day. 2015, 2016, 17. Every SH figure art now is $80. Like starts at $80. It's a different world we live in today. Everything is more expensive and it's rough. It's really, really rough. 20% off sale. You got Widowmaker. Well, that's good then. Again, the reality is there's always sales now. There's always sales. There's always opportunities. I mean, look at what happened with Black Friday, where they were blowing out deluxes. We were buying deluxes cheaper than they ever were in MSRP history. We were buying deluxes for $7.50. For context, when Beast Wars started the deluxe price point in 1995-96, they were $10 in 1996 money, which means that, $10 in 1996, let's say with inflation, $17 today, $18 for $7.50, something's going on. There's more product than there is people buying it. And for Black Friday sales of those two packs at $7.50 a unit, whew, wait for sales, guys. Don't put yourself in the poorhouse with this hobby. You know, don't be that guy. There's too many guys I've seen in the past on buy sell trade forums that are unloading their collection because they got bills to pay and they bought more than they could afford. Go to a TFCon if that's affordable. Loose figures, loose complete figures in Ziploc bags for $5-10. People's mistakes that will become your opportunity. Every time. Every time. TFCon Twins, any Hasbro guys in the chat? Good question. 3 guys in the chat today. Actually, 3 different Hasbro guys in the chat today. That's all I'm going to say. Don't say anything. Because if they're going to talk, then they're going to give themselves away. They've been in the chat before. They've talked in the past. T-Formers 2002, looking forward to November for more deluxe sets. Well, again, it's just the reality right now and it's the snake eating its own tail in that we wait for sales. Stuff doesn't do well. we end up getting it as a good price. Hasbro doesn't do well in their sales numbers. They have to reduce quality and plastic and everything to meet those numbers and push them up. And then the painful cycle continues of quality going down. Where to me, I think that we're going to need to really be comfortable with some of the characters and the figures that we have. And what I mean by that is, man, like, I don't know if we'll ever get, like, I'm trying to think of some good examples. I don't know if we'll ever get like that amazing update of Armada Smokescreen in a world where the plastic costs are going to be so low and so bad that how could it be better than the one that came out during Armada? Even articulation aside, just plastic quality and stuff like that. Where, I mean, I don't want to throw shade at the new Hot Shot that came out, but mess with the new Hot Shot. And it's a good figure. But you could see how plastic has changed throughout the years compared to the original Hot Shot. No joke. You could throw that at a person. You could throw that at a wall, and the person's going to be damaged, but the figure will be just fine. You can like whip it at them, you know? It's not going to make a difference. So, JR Mina, dear Hasbro, I'm still waiting for Cryotech Recolor. That's the one that I'm surprised to, JR Mina, how that's not happened yet. I see that as like a HasLab item or a San Diego item at this point. I think they've waited so long that when are they going to do it? Let alone where are they going to put it? You know, what's the word on the GI Joe crossover series? I think that series is dead as dead. Every single release of that series went on clearance. Megatron clearance, the Soundwave clearance, the Bumblebee clearance. The Triple T, I never even saw it in stores. So some of them didn't even want anything to do with it. So I think that it's more just a situation of it didn't do well, money talks, you discontinue something. And as much as I love GI Joe, how many GI Joe fans are propping up a Transformer brand, let alone how many Transformer fans are propping up a GI Joe brand, even if there is a little bit of crossover, like me. Jaws D bought it on sale. I bought it on sale. You know, we waited for sales. Sarah talking about obscure characters at some point. We're going to have to do Primacron. We don't have to do it. And it's something where, you know, even if he's no longer canon, always an idea of Transformer Devil that was made by a space monkey. We don't have to do a figure of him. I could see them doing a little like PVC that comes with like, you know, a Unicron or something down the line. But a full-fledged standalone figure, I don't think they'll do that. I don't think so. In the same way, like, you know, did we ever truly get a Spike Witwicky figure that like was done justice, like a GI Joe scale, 6.0 articulation, Spike Witwicky? No, we got little things here and there, you know, little Diaclone Driver esque kind of stuff, little PVCs, but never anything. And that's Spike Witwicky. You know, that's human number one. You know, so when you go into something again, Call of the Primitives only appeared in one episode, unless you want to count like the Legends manga with Sakamoto-san. Very obscure. T-Formers 2002, the new Armada Sideways is so much hype and build up, and then still couldn't compare to how great the original was. Well, again, the problem with the Armada Sideways is the original, and this is just again the reality of how different worlds it is. Armada Sideways was a deluxe Transformer that came with a comic book, a sticker. It came with 2 mini-con headmaster thingies and all that plastic quality. In that shell of a bubble that is, I wish I had a Armada packaging to show you, that crazy shell of a bubble that is Armada packaging. That in its own probably has more plastic than a core class figure. And then you have a modern one where it's just like, you know, it has to fit in something like this. So it's mostly cardboard on the packaging. And then it wasn't able to do everything that the original did. And it was kind of thin and it was kind of smaller and it didn't have spring loaded missiles, mind you, because it couldn't afford to have, springs, which are metal, you know? It's, and you're talking also 20 years later. So 20 years later of plastic costs, 20 years later of oil costs increasing, 20 years later of just all kinds of different goals and engineering goals, lack of better words, because you're not making it for kids anymore. You're making it for collectors. So it doesn't have to be toyetic. It doesn't have to have something that's gimmicky and fun. It could just be something that poses nice and you get that one pose and then he'll sit on the shelf forever. Guilty, you know? So it is what it is. Uh, where are we at? Sarah, I'm great. I'm the greatest Beast Wars fan of the old time, and I'm with two Beast Wars characters each 10 years is the best for my mortgage. Yeah, well, again, hey, I always say be picky and choosy. Me, it's like whenever there's a new hot rod figure, I buy that, bar none, no question, full retail, no problem. Same thing with, again, original 13. Okay, I'll drop the $47 plus Canadian taxes to get it. I know. It hurts to hear that. I know. But yeah, because it's like, when are we going to see this again? But when I see my fifth wheelie and 20th Brawn and 20th Sideswipe and Mirage, and even though these are characters I love, I look at them and when I picked up this Quintus, retro carded wheelie was staring right back at me. And I looked at retro carded wheelie and I went, that's nice. I'll see you on clearance, much like all the other retro carded stuff. I'm not, again, I like having money. I like being able to buy healthy groceries and good food for my family. I like being able to be a homeowner. I like being able to have a mortgage. I like being able to do the certain, like, you could still buy Transformers and be financially responsible. And it used to be that you could buy everything. When I bought this house, Revenge of the Fallen was a thing. And I was able to buy mostly every Revenge of the Fallen product. Then it kept increasing and increasing and increasing. And I started going, okay, maybe I'll wait for sales for Leaders and Voyagers. Okay, maybe I don't need every fast action battler and robot replica and real gear and, fast action and, RPM and gravity bots. And I'm looking at them because I have them now because I got them cheaper later. And bumpin' battlers and robo stompers and DJ Bumblebee. I could go on and on. Maybe I didn't need to have all of that. So I started cutting back heavily. And now it's reached a point where now I don't even, do I need all this mainline stuff? Do I need all this Age of the Prime stuff? It looks great. A lot of it looks great. But I'm price sensitive. You know, if I bought every deluxe on the shelf when a new wave comes out in Canadian dollars after taxes, $200. Just the deluxes. $200. $200. That's groceries for a month, at least for me, because I'm much more make food at home kind of thing. But that's groceries for a month for me, you know? That's a lot of different things. $200. It was not like that before. Oh, I was going to buy 4 deluxes from Toys R Us back in the day. $60 after Quebec taxes back then. Now it's $200. I'm going to wait. Sooner or later, it finds its way to me. Sooner or later, sooner or later, they find their way to me. Sooner or later, they find their way to me. All of these were all the Black Friday clearance sales. I love me a hot rod homage. I ain't paying $47 Canadian, but I'll pay $7.50 USD. I think Strong Arm is awesome. I think she's such a cool character. She was probably one of the highlights of Robots in Disguise 2015. I ain't paying $47 Canadian. This guy was free because I worked on him. But yeah, there they go. Either way, you know, I love me a Braun. Braun's my boy. I ain't paying $47 USD. 47 Canadian, excuse me. You know, you could do 50. Look, bro, you have to understand, we cook in this house. Meat, eggs, vegetables. We cook like crazy in our house. We do not buy, you know, eggs. Like, here's the thing: we go to Costco and we buy that crazy thing of eggs that you could get. Like, gosh, how many are in there? I think it's like 3 dozen eggs. Because me and her, we eat a lot of eggs and we cook a lot in this house. And she's a mad cook. Rice. You're talking. I live with an Asian person. Okay, Asian people are like the kings of stretching grocery bill. They're the kings. And don't take that as a racism thing, because her family was like that too. When you have immigrant parents, and you ask them, hey, can we go to McDonald's? Why would you eat at McDonald's? We have food at home. They're the kings of that. So that's the world I live in. Save money in those areas. You know what I mean? We always do well when it comes to food. And she's an insanely good cook. Insanely good cook. We go to Asian grocery stores to like buy most of our stuff. You know, we buy, constantly go to Asian grocery stores. We literally went to an Asian grocery store today and she bought a whole bunch of meat that she's then going to freeze and then it's going to be used on specific days. She buys literally a whole pork loin and then she cuts it up and then she freezes them all and then she stores them away. And then when she needs it, she pulls it out, puts it in the pan, does her magic sauce things that she always does with some rice. Rice costs nothing. Rice, meat, frozen vegetables, organic frozen vegetables you could buy at the grocery store. Again, frozen, so you could keep it when it's ready and it doesn't go to waste. Boom, boom, boom. Good meal. You don't need to spend, God, the prices for fast food is insane right now. You don't need to spend like $27 for 2 people at McDonald's. You know what I mean? You're not even going to feel full, you know? Uh, Big Bot Bodega. I go to the grocery store and buy like 5 items. What are those 5 items? Big Bot. That's important. Anyone that's cheaper to eat out other than buying a bunch of ingredients. Well, I don't want to get in too much into that, but that's also a bit of a problem in the United States, is that there's an encouragement to go out to eat because it's deemed cheaper, and as a result, it's also an unhealthy alternative. Ugh, which, I'm just saying. That's a whole other discussion. I don't want to go too deeply into that. We could have a whole other discussion in private about dietary choices and health. J.R. Mina, Asian people represent. Hey, man, they know what's up. They know what's up. If you know immigrant parents in the United States and Canada, they know what's up. They know how to save money when it comes to food. Food is fuel. So, Ashton, we do $50 a month, but we are a family of. Well, again, that's the secret. Your parents, Ashton, obviously, and your family understand how to budget it. There's ways to do it. Rice isn't expensive. Don't buy Uncle Ben's or mainstream white people rice, as I like to call it. Go to your Asian supermarket, get a big old Phoenix brand or whatever bag of rice. Put that in your rice. We have like a rice tub. Any Asian household has a rice tub, you know, and get a good quality rice cooker. Tiger brand made in Japan, I would suggest, and have that stuff ready to go every day. Ask anyone who works out or loses weight. It's like chicken and rice and a green vegetable. That's their go-to. Oh God, my Uncle Ben's Dove, avoid that garbage. Garbage. Poison. Might as well be plastic. Oh boy. Cook Uncle Ben's rice, let it dry out on the counter, and then try to eat it. Leave Uncle Ben's rice for 30 No, leave it for 20 minutes on the counter and then try to eat it. It turns into plastic. Turns into plastic. That stuff is garbage. It helps that I'm a professional chef and love to cook. Well, there you go. There's your answer. Once you know how, when you have someone who knows how to cook decently, that unlocks saving money to the highest level. Because then also that means that they're not lazy about cooking because they enjoy it. It's more of a hobby, if anything. And she's really good at it. She's really, really good at cooking. That's the thing. Like she loves it. Every time we go out, she's like, "Oh, I saw these." Like her, like when you're doom scrolling, she's like doom scrolling like TikTok like recipes and stuff like that. Oh, I'm gonna make braised pork this weekend, or I'm gonna make this. I have to get these ingredients and stuff. So, and it's always about finding sales. There's a great app. I don't know if it works for the United States, but there's an app called, what is the app that she uses? Hold on a second. She uses an app. I forget what it's called, but it's all like the flyers and everything for all the local grocery stores. And she constantly looks at it. Oh, there's going to be a sale here. And so we'll stock up on something, you know? Jasmine rice is great too. Anything that's like, not that like mainstream, like buy it in a box at Walmart kind of thing. You're throwing your money away. You know what? Big Bot Bodega, we have cats, and I've joked about it. We would go get cat food for our cats, and I would joke how the cat food costs more than our food. Like, now, granted, we buy slightly better stuff for our cats, but I was joking about it with her. I was like, man, like we bought like cat food for a month, and it was like as much as our grocery bill. And I was like, what is going on here? you know? So, but that's just companies taking advantage of you. Oh, less people are having children, more people are buying pets. Let's increase the price of cat food. If we increase cat food by 30 cents, we make 30 cents per can per unit. Companies being companies, corporate being corporate, blah. Victory Slag Proto, I missed a stream a few weeks back because I was cooking steaks. Very good. Torture you with pics. Hey man, steaks are where it's at. Look, I always tell people, go to your local supermarket, buy a steak that is going, like they'll have steaks that are going bad that day. Like that's the last day. Pick them up and cook them right away. Put them in um, virgin olive oil, little bit of garlic, little bit of butter. Oh my God. Make them that day. Put a little black pepper if that's your thing, or kosher sea salt, whatever. I make the steaks. When we cook in this house, I'm the one that makes the steaks for her. It's so good. It's so good. And you'll feel good too. Don't let mainstream, oh, red meat is bad for you. I'm not going to get into it, but it's bullshit. Okay. It's rich people wanting more meat for themselves. That's all I'm going to say in a nutshell. But it's get yourself a good steak, get some good clean protein in you that's good for you. It flushes out your system. It's something where like people don't get enough of that. The war on eggs for years. Oh, don't have eggs. Oh, Alzheimer's. Oh, you're gonna get high cholesterol. Blah blah blah. And then we find out it's all linked to cognitive stuff, and like the brain is mostly made out of cholesterol. What a surprise. Anyways, trust me. Like what people think that they know of, like just look at what Asian people eat. Look at Mediterranean diets in Italy and other like, places of that area. And you'll start seeing patterns. You'll start seeing stuff. We're getting into the food podcast. I apologize for this. But you'll start seeing patterns. Bread that only lasts like 3 days before it goes bad, as opposed to your loaf of bread that you buy at the supermarket that lasts like 2 weeks. You want bread that expires. You want food that expires. You don't want food if you pick up cereal and it's going to last 2 months, throw that stuff out. You know what I mean? Like I buy cereal once in a while because it's like, oh, it's like some fancy promo thing or something, or oh, it's a cool like Nintendo cereal, but it's not something that's part of my regular diet. Same thing, like this singular donut. which she wanted, you know. It's a different story. But you don't make it part of your and get all that white sugar out of your life. Ashnud, go right when supermarket opens for the best deals on meat. Oh yeah, dude, you can't go later in the day. You can't go later in the day. If you go later in the day, everything's gone. And that's the mistake that I used to make decades ago. Me and my mother, we would go to the supermarket in the evening. All the sales meat is gone, and all the new meat is gone too, because all the cuts are gone. This is all real adulting stuff, by the way, for you kids that are going to become adults one day. You know, but yeah, but yeah. Sorry to go on that tangent, but it's an important part of life, and I have too many friends that live unhealthy lives, and more importantly, I have too many friends that live bad financial lives that are tied to sometimes their choices of food. I almost think you were gonna say United States having an incursion on another country. That's never gonna happen. You guys with your silliness. No one's raiding nobody. The longest unguarded border in planet Earth's history. And then all of a sudden there's going to be a raid in a 50-second state and blah, 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 blah. Okay, come on. Please. Please. Uh, where are we at? Where are we at? But yeah, just take care of yourself, guys. Be smart with your money. Just be smart with your money. Like the talk of Transformer toys led to this, but be smart with your money. Be smart with your hobby. Never overdo it. You know, and if you have the opportunity to go to conventions every year because of proximity or something, wait for those. I always like if you live in the LA area, or you live in the Orlando area, or you live in the Washington area, the Chicago area, where a TFCon shows up every so often, just wait for those. Because then the sales and the room parties and the parts parties, all those sales come, and then it all just crushes it. Mark Morales with the $5 super chat. Hey Proto. I've been absent for a while since I went to the doctor and learned I need to go on a diet to clean my system. Wish me luck for 1 year. Dude, I will say this every time. You can't buy health, you know? Take care of yourself. Always do. The last thing you want to do is be a guy who's 50, 60, and your health is shot. And, there's so many people that are rich that if their health was better, they'd give it all up, you know? So take care of yourself, man. Of course, 100%. Especially diet. Get rid of soda. You don't need soda in your life. I can't stress this enough. I don't know why people drink soda. I understand if it's a social thing, oh, you're like for me, I'm at a convention. There's only like three choices of drinks. I'll have a Coke if that's all there is, and there's nothing else. There's no water. There's no nothing. Sure, okay. But if you have a choice, you're 200, 365 days out of the year. Get water. Just have that in your life, man. Have that in your life. You don't need, if you have to have I told you, if you have to have a flavoring, get like a juice then. And I mean a real juice. Don't get a crappy juice. Get like a good orange juice, not like a sweetened, orange drink with sugar in it. Get something that's fructose, at least, if you have to have something that has a flavor, because that's the least evil. It's still not great for you, but it's the least evil of the bunch, is at least fruit juice, where soda is pure poison, you know? Pure poison. High fructose corn syrup, good Lord. You want to talk about getting Alzheimer's later in your life because of all that sugar that destroys your brain. And then all of a sudden at age 65, you're forgetting everything. And then at age 70, all of a sudden you have no short-term memory anymore. Again, I had a grandmother that went through it, and then an uncle who freaked out over it and did tons of medical research into it because he didn't want it to happen to him, you know? J.R. Mina says, Happy Easter, everyone. Thank you, sir. And again, if you are someone that needs to have chocolate bars, wait till after Easter. Because on East, it'll be like, I guess we'll call it Boxing Day Easter. Easter Tuesday. That's when all the sales will be. Buy it then. And then I had a friend who used to buy Cadbury cream eggs and he would freeze them because he knew that they were seasonal. So he would freeze all his Cadbury cream eggs and he'd eat them all throughout the year. That way they would never go bad. He'd buy them in bulk when they would go on sale. Bit of a psycho. He's kind of a well-known YouTuber today, but I won't say his name for his own privacy. Um, Local Montrealer, who's also a big YouTuber. But Big Bot Bodega, bro. I was at TFCon Chicago, and this kid was about to buy Legacy Breakdown for $80. But I was like, no, little man, that's a ripoff. Man, Legacy Breakdown, like now there's box sets. Now there's another box set coming. There's probably going to be other opportunities. Come on, like that's crazy. But that's someone being irresponsible with their money, and obviously a dealer in that dealer room taking advantage of people who are irresponsible with their money. Tom Laney, great stream again. Toys and health. Thanks again. Hey man, that's what this stream's about. It's the chill stream. We start out hour and a half of toys and talking the biz, and then we talk about life and health because it affects us all. It's a part of our lives every day. Sarah, I could get past the chat of Omega Prime, Amazon, Mexico. What restock? What? I guess there's a well, if there's an Amazon, if there's a HasLab Prime on in Mexico's Amazon, sure. But guys, again, take care of yourselves. Find ways to keep your costs down in life. I always tell my friends locally here, like, there's so many ways to entertain yourself that don't cost money. Like, if you have the internet and a decent laptop, you could do everything. I'm just saying, like, from an entertainment standpoint, that don't involve paying for subscriptions and streaming services and like there's $20 saved there, $20 saved there, $20 saved there. Oh, I didn't have to buy that. Oh, I didn't have to buy that. Yeah. Take care of yourself. Because I'll tell you this right now, a multi-billion dollar Fortune 500 company isn't going to care when your life is in shambles and you don't have money and you have debt. They won't care. They will say, thank you. Who's next? You know? So take care of yourself. You know? Always do that. Take care of it. If you can't afford the Patreon with me, the live streams, any of that, I understand. I understand. I've had people that were part of my Patreon that were part of the $1 tier, and they've had to contact me and tell me, sorry, I can't be part of Patreon anymore. I can't afford it. If $1 a month is going to hurt you, brother, go take care of yourself. I understand. It won't hurt me. It won't. The Patreon is that extra level of fans that want to be part of my Discord and the sales things and everything. That's fine. You know, it's cool. But take care of yourself. That's the most important thing for me because a lot of people aren't doing well right now. It's a weird financial market right now. Jobs are going to be kind of sus. I mean, all the AI things, God knows what the future is going to bring with that. You know, cheap labor that's being brought in to outsource all the stuff that AI doesn't take over. It's going to be a weird world. So you got to take care of yourself. Build that financial security now so that later on when things get crazy, you'll have at least a bit of a safety net. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on right now that's not looking good. And I want to make sure that everyone who's hearing this, people who have, if you're a fan of me, I'm a fan of you, you know, and I want you to be able to take care of yourself and take care of your family, to do that, to invest in that. And it's just it's not good right now. It's not good, you know. I'm lucky that I'm financially, wise, and I take care of myself and I invest my money well and I put my money in the right places and I don't spend a lot. Again, guys, how many Transformers do I show you a week that I buy? You know, the reality of it. But then I do a TFCon and then I got a whole bunch of cool loose stuff I bought, you know. But you got to really play it safe, you know, for your own sake and your family and everyone around you. And that's it more or less. We're at the 2 hour mark, you know. Your laptop is 13 years old. You want a spoiler? My computer, so the computer that I do my editing on everything is 10 years old and my laptop is gosh, 6 years old. So, and I'll ride these two out until they die, you know, until they die. The Patreon is a lump of money that you guys put into that I could use to upgrade things. You know, oh, my new microphone, fix this, fix that. Oh, my webcam died. My webcam died. Had to get a new webcam. That was thanks to the Patreon, you know? This stupid webcam, the wire fucking got kinked and just destroyed and almost caught on fire. I don't know what the hell happened there, but I think it's because I brought it to TFCon and it got screwed up in the suitcase. Big mistake on my end, but either way, thank you guys again for the love and support. Again, if you want to continue supporting the podcast, again, we have the Patreon link down there below. Help support the podcast. And again, also gets you access to the Discord, all that jazz and goodness, sales. There was actually sales this weekend. Here, I'll give a free one. All of the Sega video game figures. So like Shinobi, uh, Shinobi, Altered Beast, um, uh, Golden Axe, all of those ones at Walmart, they're all on mega clearance right now for $3 a piece, down from $14. So go get that. I bought them all. $3 a piece, sign me up. Well, they were $5 Canadian, but they're $3 a piece for us. So those got all, they went on mega clearance. So I picked those up. Didn't buy them when they were 14, but I'll buy all the Golden Axe guys at $3 a piece. Sure. Yeah, Ninjatron, go to Walmart right now. $5 for Shinobi. They're all in my living room right now, carded. I should have bought more of them. If I would have known you wanted one, I would have picked one up for you. Crap. Uh, Ninjatron, I'll message you. Well, if you don't go to Walmart by next Friday, I'll message you and I'll go and see if there's any left. Probably not now that I'm saying it. I'm not going back to Walmart until Friday. So, but either way, go check it out. Again, there's always sales, there's always deals. Those companies need to make money and they'll still make money if they sell it to you at $3. But again, join the Patreon. I'll share. We share sales there. We help each other out there. Otherwise, if you want to be one of those beautiful green names that you see, that's the join button for YouTube membership. Or you could double dip Patreon, YouTube membership. Let our powers combine and all of that jazz. Otherwise, thanks again for joining us tonight on the Transformer Slag podcast and the Hasbro people and all the other cool people. Thanks again. Go check out the Super Mario movie. I got Wart over here chilling with me. If you know, you know. Go check out the Super Mario movie and just have a good old time. I'm going to open up this bad boy. He'll probably end up on. I want to do a photo shoot of Quintus with all the other squid transformers. That's what I'm going to probably do. But yeah, check that out, guys. Again, and otherwise, check out Symbiote Studios. Check out Toy Armada. Go buy stuff from Aaron. Get yourself some Posca paintings. And as always, I'm out of here. Take care of your friends, your family, and your loved ones. There's a lot of cool stuff in the world, including you. I'm out of here. As always, peace and roll out.